Have you ever noticed that getting up from a chair takes a little more effort than it used to? Or maybe you've had that moment where you bump into the corner of a table, and suddenly you're left with a bruise that lingers longer than expected. You're not alone, and you're certainly not imagining it. These little signs are your body's way of whispering, "Hey, take care of me. I'm doing my best, but I need a little help." Especially after 60, our bodies go through natural changes. We lose muscle mass more easily. Our joints might feel stiff in the morning. And most importantly, our bones, those strong, silent supporters holding everything together, start to lose density. It's nothing to panic about, but it's definitely something worth paying attention to. Because here's the thing, strong bones aren't just about avoiding fractures. They're about independence, confidence, that feeling that you can walk tall, carry your own groceries, enjoy a day out without worrying about slips or falls. They're about living the life you love without your body holding you back. Now, you might be wondering, isn't bone loss just part of aging? Yes, to a degree, but there's a big difference between what's common and what's inevitable. Just because thinning bones happen often doesn't mean we're powerless to stop or even reverse it. That's why today, I want to share with you some natural, practical, and truly doable ways to strengthen your bones after 60. Nothing extreme, nothing expensive, just good, honest habits that support the body you've lived in, worked in, danced in, laughed in for 6 beautiful decades or more. And I want you to feel encouraged, not overwhelmed. Because every step you take, no matter how small, can make a real difference. Let's talk about what those steps might look like, starting with something simple that we often overlook. What's on your plate? Our bones need certain nutrients to stay strong, and the star of the show is calcium. But here's where it gets interesting. Your body doesn't just need calcium, it needs to absorb it. And to do that, it needs the right partners. Let's talk food for a moment. Now, we've all heard milk is good for your bones, and it can be, but there's so many other delicious options out there. Leafy greens like kale and collard greens are wonderful. So are almonds, sardines, yes, with the soft little bones, and even tofu, depending on how it's prepared. But one of the best things you can do is make sure you're not just getting calcium, but also getting enough vitamin D. That's the sunshine vitamin. And it's essential because it helps your body actually use the calcium you're giving it. Think of it like this. Calcium is a building block, and vitamin D is the builder who knows where to put it. Without the builder, the blocks just sit there. So, how do we get more vitamin D? Well, sunlight is a big help. Just 15 to 20 minutes a day can do wonders, especially in the early morning or late afternoon when the sun is gentle. But of course, depending on where you live and the time of year, sunlight alone might not be enough. That's where foods like eggs, salmon, and fortified cereals come into play. And yes, sometimes a supplement can be a good idea too, but always talk to your doctor about that first, especially if you're on any medications. Now, here's something you might not expect. Too much sitting can weaken your bones. Yep, you heard me right. Our bones are living tissue. They respond to how we move, or how little we move. When we're active, we're telling our bones, "Hey, stay strong, we need you." But when we sit for long periods, our bones don't get that signal, and they can start to weaken. That doesn't mean you need to run marathons or lift heavy weights. Even gentle movement can send that message to your bones. Walking, dancing around your kitchen, gardening, light stretching, they all count. The key is consistency and variety. One woman I know in her mid-60s started doing gentle yoga in the morning, just 10 minutes a day. Not only did her balance improve, but she said she started feeling steadier when walking down the stairs and even noticed fewer aches in her back. Yoga, Tai Chi, and Pilates are all great options, especially because they focus on strength, posture, and balance, all things that support your bones and help prevent falls. Now, let's touch on something that often gets overlooked: protein. Yes, protein isn't just for bodybuilders. Your bones are made up of more than just minerals. They also contain collagen, a protein that provides structure and flexibility. Without enough protein, your body can't repair or maintain that framework. And unfortunately, as we age, we sometimes eat less protein, whether from a smaller appetite, changes in digestion, or just habit. But adding a bit more can be simple. A boiled egg here, a scoop of Greek yogurt there, a handful of nuts as a snack. It doesn't take much, and your bones will thank you for it. Here's something else that might surprise you. Caffeine and salt, when consumed in large amounts, can actually interfere with how your body holds onto calcium. Now, I'm not saying you have to give up your morning coffee. That would be cruel, but it's worth being mindful. Maybe skip that third cup. And when it comes to salty snacks or processed foods, a little moderation goes a long way. It's not about depriving yourself. It's about making room for the foods and habits that give you more strength, more energy, more life. I want you to think for a moment, what's one small shift you could make this week? Maybe it's adding a daily walk after breakfast. Maybe it's picking up a bag of leafy greens at the store. Maybe it's spending 5 minutes out in the sunshine with a cup of tea. These aren't huge, dramatic changes, but they add up. They build a foundation. Because when it comes to our bones, what we do every day matters far more than what we do once in a while. And one of the most empowering things about this whole journey is knowing that even after 60, your bones are still responsive. They're not stuck in some decline. They're listening. They're adapting. They're rebuilding every single day. All they need is the right tools. Now that we've talked about how food, sunlight, movement, and a few small choices can support stronger bones, let's keep going and look a little deeper into other powerful habits that can make all the difference. One of the most powerful and honestly underrated habits that can help your bones stay strong as you age is balance. Not just balance in the general sense of life and choices, but literal physical balance. You see, as we get older, our sense of balance can naturally decline. That doesn't mean something's wrong. It just means our body's internal systems, like our inner ear and nervous system, need a bit more attention to keep working smoothly. And when balance starts to go, the risk of falling goes way up. And if your bones aren't as strong as they used to be, one fall can turn into a serious injury. So what can you do about it? You'd be surprised how easy it can be to train your balance. You don't need fancy equipment or a gym membership. Something as simple as standing on one leg while brushing your teeth can make a difference. Just make sure you're holding on to the counter the first few times until your confidence grows. Or try walking heel to toe along the hallway, like you're walking a tightrope. It sounds a little silly, but it trains your brain, muscles, and bones to work together in harmony. And when all those parts are in sync, you move more smoothly, more safely, and your bones get stronger from the effort. Another wonderful habit? Stretching. Yep, good old-fashioned stretching. It keeps you flexible, helps your joints stay comfortable, and encourages better posture. Why is posture important for bones? Because when we slouch, especially over time, we shift our weight in ways that stress our spine and hips. But when we stand tall, with our shoulders back and head held high, our bones are aligned in a way that supports natural strength and stability. You don't need to do hour-long yoga routines. Even 5 minutes of gentle stretching in the morning or before bed can do wonders. Roll your shoulders, stretch your arms overhead, reach for your toes, twist gently from side to side. Whatever feels good. You're not just loosening up your muscles. You're creating space and strength in your skeletal system too. Let's not forget the role hydration plays in this story. I know we usually think of water as helping our skin, our digestion, maybe even our energy levels. But did you know staying well hydrated also helps your bones? It's true. Our bones may seem solid and dry, but inside they contain living tissue and marrow that rely on fluids to function. If you're not getting enough water, everything inside you, from muscles to joints to bones, works harder than it needs to. Think of it like a sponge that's been left out too long. Dry, brittle, and more likely to break. But when that sponge is hydrated, it's resilient, flexible, strong. So, how much water is enough? It varies from person to person, but a good rule of thumb is to listen to your body. If your mouth is dry or your urine is dark yellow, that's a nudge to drink up. Keep a water bottle nearby. Sip throughout the day, and if plain water isn't appealing, add a slice of lemon or cucumber. Herbal teas are great too. Just be mindful of caffeine if you're sensitive to it. Now, let's talk about something a little unexpected. Your mood. Yes, your emotional health affects your physical health, including your bones. Stress, anxiety, and depression can actually trigger processes in the body that lead to inflammation and even bone loss over time. It's wild, right? But it makes sense. When we're under constant stress, our body releases cortisol, a hormone that, when elevated for too long, can pull minerals like calcium out of our bones. So it's not just about managing your physical habits. It's also about caring for your heart and mind. That can mean calling an old friend, sitting outside and watching the birds, writing a journal, praying or meditating, or even just taking a few deep breaths when a day feels heavy. And if you've been feeling down more days than not, please know that you're not alone. There's no shame in talking to someone, whether it's a counselor, a doctor, or someone you trust. Emotional health is a big part of aging well, and taking care of it is one of the strongest things you can do for your bones and your entire body. Let's shift to another topic that doesn't always come up in bone health conversations: sleep. Sleep isn't just about recharging your energy. It's also when your body does some of its best repair work. During deep sleep, your cells are hard at work rebuilding tissue, including the cells inside your bones. So if you're skimping on sleep, your bones don't get the recovery time they need. Now I know sleep can be tricky as we age. Sometimes you fall asleep fine, but wake up at 3 a.m. staring at the ceiling. Other times you just can't drift off, no matter how tired you are. If that sounds familiar, try creating a wind-down routine. Turn off bright screens an hour before bed. Keep your room cool and dark. Maybe listen to calming music or sip a little chamomile tea. Your body loves routine, and when it knows it's time to relax, you'll sleep more deeply, and your bones will benefit from that rest. We've talked about nutrition, movement, balance, hydration, stress, and sleep, and how they all support your bones. But there's one more thing I want to touch on, and that's how you talk to yourself. Seriously, because if you've been telling yourself things like, "I'm too old to change," or "What's the point at this age?" then let me be the one to gently interrupt that thought. You're not too old. You're just getting started. Every day you wake up, you have the opportunity to make choices that honor your body. Choices that say, "I care about my health. I care about my strength. I care about feeling good." And those choices add up. They matter. You matter. I've seen people in their 70s and even 80s begin walking routines, improve their diets, and come back from fractures stronger than ever. Not because they had some magic secret, but because they believed they could make a change, and they started one small habit at a time. Maybe for you, that habit begins today. Maybe it's deciding to walk a little more, or stand up and stretch right now as you're watching this. Maybe it's just taking a deep breath and saying to yourself, "My bones deserve my attention," because they do. You've carried a lifetime on them. And with just a little care, they'll carry you through so much more. Next, we'll explore a few more natural and empowering habits that round out the picture of strong, healthy bones and an energized, independent life. As we come to the final part of our journey towards stronger bones, let's talk about the importance of consistency. It's easy to get motivated when we first learn something new, right? But as the days go by, it can be tempting to fall off track. We may think, "Well, I've been doing this for a week now, and I don't feel any different." Or, "I'm not sure this is really helping." But here's the thing about strengthening your bones naturally. It's a marathon, not a sprint. The small, daily habits you're building now will compound over time. Whether it's adding a few extra minutes of walking to your day or eating more calcium-rich foods, every little bit counts. Imagine your bones as a bank account. Every good choice you make deposits a little more strength, a little more resilience. It's not always instant, but the rewards are worth it. Think about the power of routine. The more you incorporate these habits into your daily life, the more automatic they'll become. And that's how you start to see results. You look up one day and realize that your energy is higher, your posture is better, and your bones feel stronger. And that's not just your bones. It's your whole body, your mind, and your heart, too. Let's dive into one more area that can make a huge difference in the health of your bones: weight-bearing exercise. You might be thinking, exercise at my age? Isn't that risky? But hear me out. The right kind of exercise doesn't have to be intense or hard on your body. In fact, weight-bearing exercises are some of the best ways to stimulate bone growth. These exercises involve working against gravity, which helps your bones become stronger and more dense. Walking, climbing stairs, light jogging, or even dancing, yes, dancing, are all fantastic ways to give your bones that gentle but effective workout. And if you're worried about injury, you can start small. Even 10 minutes of walking a day, gradually increasing the duration, will help. Or try chair exercises, where you stay seated but still work your muscles. The key is finding something that feels good for you and making it a habit. And remember, it's okay to go slow. Every little bit helps. There's also another activity that's fantastic for your bones: strength training. I know, lifting weights might sound intimidating, especially if it's been years since you've picked up a dumbbell. But strength training doesn't have to mean lifting heavy weights or hitting the gym. Simple resistance exercises like squats, lunges, or using resistance bands can help build muscle around your bones, which is vital for bone health. Strengthening the muscles that support your bones means less stress on your skeletal system. And while it might feel a little tough at first, it's well worth it. You'll not only see stronger bones, but you'll also feel more confident, more mobile, and more capable of handling whatever the day throws your way. Let's talk for a moment about something you might not think of when it comes to bone health: the power of community. Spending time with others, whether it's a friend, a family member, or a group, can actually have a positive impact on your physical well-being, including the health of your bones. You probably heard that laughter is the best medicine, and it turns out it's true. Socializing, engaging in activities with loved ones, or just being around people who make you smile can lower your stress levels and boost your immune system, which can, in turn, benefit your bones. Being socially active keeps you engaged, it gives you purpose, and believe it or not, it encourages you to move more. You might walk more when you're with a friend. You might dance at a family gathering. You might get out of the house to enjoy a hobby with others. And all of that is good for your bones. So, consider this a gentle nudge. Connect with people, join a class, or simply spend time with those who lift your spirits. Your bones will thank you for it. Now, I want to leave you with one final idea, and it's something that ties everything together: patience and self-compassion. We're so used to hearing about how we should be doing more, pushing ourselves harder, trying to achieve perfection. But when it comes to bone health, like so much in life, it's about progress, not perfection. The goal isn't to run marathons or lift heavy weights by next week. The goal is to honor your body, to give it the nourishment, movement, and care it deserves each and every day. Small changes, over time, will lead to big results. And even on the days when you feel like you've fallen short, remember this: every positive step you take is one step closer to feeling better. You are enough, right where you are. And by committing to these habits, you're giving yourself the gift of a stronger, more vibrant future. Before we wrap up, I'd love to hear from you. Have you tried any of these habits before? Or is there one you're excited to start? Share your thoughts with me in the comments below. Let's keep this conversation going and inspire each other to live stronger, healthier lives. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with someone you care about. Together, we can spread these messages and help more people strengthen their bones and embrace life with full energy. Remember, it's never too late to begin. You have the power to transform your health, to honor your bones, and to live a life that's as strong as you are. Here's to living your best life at any age.